Um, yeah. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Movie Emporium's movie review of Gail Daughtry and the Celebrity Sex Pass. This film is directed by David Wain. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, David Wain is back with another absurdist comedy, the director of Wet Hot American Summer. This movie, of course, stars Zoey Deutch as a young woman who, after finding her husband cheating with Jennifer Aniston because she was on his Celebrity Sex Pass, she decides she's going to go to Los Angeles not only to see a famous hairstylist, but in the process have sex with Hamm, who is on her Celebrity Sex Pass. Well, along the way, we have a criminal organization that mixes up a bunch of cases with, of course, the character who has the exact same case as these criminal organizations. And then in the process, she has a group of, I would not call them outcasts, but just kind of schlubby individuals. We, of course, have Ben Wang, who's a CIA agent. We, of course, have Ken Marino, who's, of course, been in David Wain's movies, who plays a photographer. And then we have Slattery playing himself in a much, kind of absurd take on who he is as an individual. And it's basically a journey to get Zoey Deutch's Gail Daughtry to have sex with Hamm while dealing with a criminal organization. So that's the plot of Gail Daughtry in the Celebrity Sex Pass. So I can't say I'm the hugest David Wain fan. His absurdist comedy just doesn't hit me like it does for a lot of people. I know people are huge fans of Wet Hot American Summer and role models, but he's just not a director that just entirely hits with me. The absurdity of what he's going for just isn't my cup of tea a lot of times. But, you know, when you have a movie that opens up with a narration by Fred Melman, you can't be too bad, right? And then you have, a bunch of characters and actors and so on and so forth, celebrity cameos, who have been in, of course, a lot of David Wain's movies. And so for my honest review of this movie is just not for me, to be fairly honest. It's not a bad movie. I actually did laugh quite a few times, especially Fred Melman's character, who is like the most angry mailman you ever meet. I think Slattery and Hamm actually are the highlights of this movie. I think the other characters are fine, but I don't think I gel with this type of absurdist humor that David Wain goes for, because he's definitely aiming on the kind of, romantic comedies, kind of making fun of them, kind of going hyper realistic, not realistic, but hyper like weird in his kind of humor. And he actually plays somebody in this movie too, which is kind of interesting. But this movie is basically, you have to be in on the in-jokes of what David Wain is known for doing. And I just don't think I am, to be fairly honest. Like I said, I don't hate this movie, but it's just not my cup of tea as something I'll watch ever again. The characters they're in some kind of weird kind of alternate reality of, Zoey Deutch's Gail Daughtry characters is like this bubbly character that does some chaotic things and some really kind of strange turns. And it's the same thing with her, her friend who's this hairstylist. And then, like I said, you have Slattery coming into the mix, and Ken Marino, who's, like I said, in every David Wain movie. And then you have, Ben Wang, who of course was in that Karate Kid remake or whatever it was. And these gels of comedy mixed with like action adventure and romanticism and the idea of what Hollywood represents and how over the top and silly it is, the celebrity cameos, nothing starts to gel together very well. And I think similar to Hot American Summer and somewhat to an extent role models, you have to either gel with this type of humor or you won't, and that's just kind of how it rolls. So I think in the end, to be fairly honest, I just don't think it was a movie for me. I think once again, Slattery and Jon Hamm are funny. They definitely bring an interesting premise to their story of these characters, and it does have some moments where you're just like, okay, sure, I get it. This is funny. It's over the top and silly, and you can tell David Wain he's a director that just kind of throws things at the wall, and whether you like it or not is going to be up to you. To be fairly honest, it definitely paints Los Angeles in a really interesting light when it comes to the way people work and the way people operate. The fact that she's like Gail Daughtry just seems to able to just talk to various celebrities, but for instance, Hamm's protection is a really weird individual who says he's gonna make everybody sick he's gonna curse him with sickness or whatever, and then it leads into like gun battles. It's all over the place when it comes to what type of humor it is. So that's kind of where I roll on Gail Daughtry and the Celebrity Sex Pass. It's just not my cup of tea, to be fairly honest. I tried watching What Hell American Summer one time. I've tried to watch the spin-off TV series or whatever, and it is not my type of humor. So I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's good. I just didn't gel with this movie at all. So that's my take on Gail Daughtry and the Celebrity Sex Pass. You might like it. If you do, let me know in the comments why. But yeah, there you go. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. In the comments below, tell me what you think of this movie, if you like it, if you didn't, all that good stuff. I think it is a mystery movie of the week, but I'm not entirely sure. But anyways, if you like what you see on this channel, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell at the top to find what's coming next. If you like this video, awesome. Hit that like button. As always, we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out, guys.